guys, so today we will be talking about just stupid adjustment we just made on August. I am absolutely pissed off. The beyond of me being mad right now is very huge. This is just the worst thing they could have ever done on August. As you saw, that was the adjustment that they did. It is absolutely the worst thing that they ever did. I just want to say it right now. MLBB, please, if you're scared of buffing August, don't touch him. Do not buff him at all. Now you have just ruined August. Right now, he is a joke. He is literally a joke right now. You've made him into a joke. The way you've made this adjustment, this is a joke. You guys are a joke. This is a joke. This adjustment is a joke. It's not. Before I can call it a buff. Now I can't even call it a buff. Now I'm back with my first statement. This buff sucks. So let's talk about this thing. So they've adjusted August. Okay, the passive one. Let's start off the passive. This is just the most painful one. The first energy regen on critical, like 20 to 10, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's still a buff. Like, it used to be just 5. Now it's 10. It's something, alright? That's okay by me. But when you look at the bottom part, effect, remove. The remove, the 40% ignore physical defense. You guys may think that this is just a small thing, but 40% physical defense being ignored is a huge thing. Removing this, what's the point of keeping Augustus all these buffs? I'm back with my first statement. This thing sucks. It sucks that bad. You don't know how much this is bad for August, because 40%, that the main damage, it comes from his passive. Removing that, you just turn his passive attack into a basic attack that hits 2 times in a row in a quick flash. They just did it like that. There is nothing special. The 40% is just gone because of it. Look at the damage. This is how much the comparison of the damage does now. Before I pay the creep, this is not my creep. None of this that I have, this information, it's not from me. I've gathered it all from DB Bringer streams. That's all where I got this from. So I'm gonna play the creep. I'm gonna play the sounds he showed. Just listen to what he says.
OG Argus dealt 710 critical damage, while Advanced Argus only dealt 496 damage. My friends, that is a huge difference. That means we're pretty much back to square one. Argus remains a very...
As you saw the comparison, that is just the most annoying thing they could have made. Like the manga's energy removal regen, the regen part was one thing. That was one thing that they removed that pissed me off. Now they remove another crucial part of you doing the hit and run tactic. They buff it, now they nerf it back again. That it doesn't matter if you can use your passive 3 times, 2 times in a row. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you get too much damage at all. Heroes out there, tanky heroes out there, can instantly tank those damage, and you can't do nothing about it because you don't have to. You can't ignore the defense at all. That ignore defense is what August becomes one of the special heroes out there. Ignoring 40% of the enemy's defense is what makes him August. It's not because he does. Well, it is because he does high damage in an 8 game and being immortal for 4 seconds. But it's not only that. It is also because he can do. The only way for him to do that much damage is with his passive skill. That is one of the reasons why he does so much damage. It's his passive skill. At the same time, it ignores 40% defense. So you can ignore someone's defense so easily with that passive, dealing so much damage under a second. So them removing that ticks me off a lot. Now, let's get that out of the way. Let's get to the next nerf they did, shall we? Okay, so in this one, remember what I said about stacking those stacks up to 3 times? Yeah, that's kind of more than 3 times if you hit minions and stuff with that. I think that's kind of impossible now, because at the moment, as you can see, they have finally changed it to the second skill can only now activate or recharge his Magnus energy when it actually hits an enemy hero, specifically enemy hero. So he cannot target minions, it will not recharge that, it will not recharge if you target buffs, which is gonna be sad. Specifically only enemy heroes. This isn't much of a bad thing actually. This isn't the worst thing, but I'm still kinda mad about it. Especially that if you add that with literally the nerf they just did with his first skill, that's just the worst part. Like if you add those two, that's just salt adding it to the wound. That's how bad it is. So this is really kinda hurts, you know. First they removed the ability of Argus to ignore defenses of heroes, so tanky heroes will not be melted by Argus anymore. I mean, even with DHS, you can still melt them, but it won't be as fast as it used to be, because that ignore defense plays a crucial part in melting enemy heroes in an instant. But not only that, they nerfed the last buff they gave on August, where it can only be activated on enemy heroes. So buffs, minions cannot activate that effect where August recharges all his Magnus energy. They can't do that no more. It can only be done by attacking an enemy hero, which just makes me kinda really sad right there, because that is absolutely terrible. That is just plain bad. It's like the first one, it's like giving you a stab wound. Then the second one is putting salt all over it. That's just so bad out there. Like that is just saddening and terrible. That's what I would say right there, because it is actually kinda making me sad right now. Due to the reason of this buff this adjustment is the worst thing ever. Because still it's that bad. It's just that bad. It's no longer a buff. Yes, you brought it back. They brought his 8 seconds ult. But the problem is, on the next one, you would see what I mean. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. So when you finally look onto his ult, you could easily see that they brought up the cooldown. But before we talk about that, let's talk about the enhanced Warmonger. So demonic slash energy legion will go down by 10. Another debuff right there. I wouldn't mind it if they didn't give all those other debuffs. The other one is the energy legion on critical 250. That's a buff right there. So it's good. It's okay, but still, what's the point of lowering it down to 50 on the normal base attack if you just gotta bring up the critical hit to 50? There is no point on bringing down the first one, the 60 to 51, if you just gotta bring the critical one by 10 up again. There is no point to do that. It's not gonna be that worth it in my point of view. But this is the saltiest part. This is the worst part. The ult duration. Yeah, the ult duration. That's just the bad one right there. Before we get to the ult duration, let's go see the reduction. Let's get into his Warmonger, shall we? The Warmonger, enhanced Warmonger, is just they nerf the normal attack, like the ones that doesn't do critical damage, to 50, while they buff the critical hit to 50. This is just useless. Either way, it's still the same number if you add them all up. So this is a useless buff right here. It isn't even useful. It is just the same. There is no point of changing this one. So I won't get mad. I won't get too mad about this one. But on the seeding reduction, let's talk about his ult. So from 50 seconds, they brought it back to 60 seconds. That's level 1. At max level ult, they brought it down to 45. They brought it from 45 to 50 seconds. Do note, this is a very huge nerf nonetheless. Original server, Argus's ult is 30 plus second, around 30, 34 or 36. So, imagine, so at max level, it is 30 seconds. So if you do the math right there, 60 seconds, okay? You don't use your immortal state, that becomes 30 seconds, right? So let's get to the max level, okay? The max level of it is 50 seconds, right? Okay. If you don't use immortal state, it's 25 seconds. Original server August. The ult of him, once you've ult and once the duration is done, it is 25 seconds as well. Once it disappears, it is 25 seconds. Are they fleeting time? Take someone down, kill someone, right? That becomes 15 seconds. Get an assist, a kill, that's 15 seconds. Only advanced server, you do the same, right? Just don't activate your immortal state. It becomes 50 seconds. This is absolutely enough. No matter how you guys say it, no matter what point of view you guys say it, this is a big, fat nerf for August. Just imagine it, like 60 seconds. They brought it back to the first time they revamped it on this current timeline, I guess I would call it like that. They revamped it. They brought the ult back. They brought the ult to 1 minute, to 60 seconds plus. This one they brought it back to 60 seconds. They brought it back to 1 minute. They are going back to the old August already. They are nerfing him so bad they are back on the old revamp August that the first time they revamp him. That's what they are doing. If you guys still you guys still think that this is still a buff, go ahead. But for me, this is 100% a nerf. Why this is a nerf for me? Well, number one, they remove the ignore 40% of the target's physical defense. That is a first big nerf right there. Second big nerf is the restore 100% max energy cannot be triggered no more to minions and buffs. It can only be triggered on heroes. This is a big nerf if you add it up with the first one. If at first it isn't that big, but once they added the first passive, that is just a big nerf right there. Skill tree, they brought the seeding reduction up. That is just the bad part right there. They didn't have to do it. The 50 seconds to 40 seconds was fine as is. They wanna make August OP. This isn't making it OP, guys. This is just nerfing August to a dream again. They think they wanna make August OP more viable in team fights. This isn't making him more viable in team fights. They are making August into more of a coward out there. Back then, August users aren't even coward. They would just push once they have the ult. Now they can't even. Now they have to be a coward back in the lines more often. Why? The ult is a 1 whole minute if they activate the stinking at the immortality state. They want them. MLBB wants him to be more in the front lines. Well, guess what, MLBB? Great job. You are doing the opposite. This is the opposite, MLBB. Well, anyway, that will be all for me today, guys. Thank you, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye!